Mean Girls 2024. Was anybody else caught off guard by this movie? All of a sudden last month I saw a trailer for this and I'm like, there's a new Mean Girls coming out by Tina Fey. I never imagined that they would remake the movie again. I mean, there's Mean Girls 2. We all know how that movie went, but now we have Mean Girls, the musical. But for those of you who don't know the Mean Girls plot or haven't seen the original movie, which I don't know anyone who hasn't seen this movie. It's iconic. October 3rd, everybody. Mean Girls is all about this story of Cady. She is this girl who had to come back to America with her family as she has lived in Africa for the past 12 years. And now she has to readjust to a high school setting. And as we all know, in the modern age, it's kind of a more difficult situation. And something that this film doesn't really capitalize on is that new generation. I wanted to see essentially the same story, but with some new messages. They don't really do that. I thought they would incorporate more of social media, beauty standards, how it's defined through social media, which they do lightly address some of that, but it's ever so vain. This movie, it's very much a one-to-one recreation. There's not a lot of creative liberties being taken here. Yeah, you've replaced a lot of the cast, and some of them do return, and some of them also do have some varying relationships in comparison to the last movie. Overall, it's just a very generic mess of a movie. The actors, I feel like they were just kind of there to get their paychecks, and even then the songs weren't that memorable, except for the one where she's like, I'm dumb at love, but smart at math. Janice, I think, sung a majority of the songs in this movie, and you wouldn't expect the character of Janice to be singing as much as she does. And for those of you who don't know, Janice is very much a side minor character who builds Cady up to be what she is later on, and there are other factors that build her up to be a plastic, but she is kind of like the beginning of that. There were maybe 2 to 3 songs in this movie that I did enjoy, and one of them was Regina George's opening. Seeing Regina in the introduction was scary, but then unfortunately her character just kind of falls flat in comparison to the original Regina. Played by Rachel McAdams, she built up this character to be scary, to be menacing, to be very manipulative, whereas here the movie is like, hey, this is Regina George. She's scary, manipulative, angry, etc. The movie's just telling us this rather than showing us this. Karen and Gretchen, not really the most interesting characters in this movie, not gonna lie. Gretchen has this very emotional song that speaks volumes about her issues with her body. And I thought to myself, wow, they're gonna release some kind of really good message here for young girls, but then they drop the ball and say, and I felt very bad for the character of Gretchen. There's so many potential opportunities for them to take to where they can criticize not only the old movie, but also build upon it with modern times. And again, they do that, but it's so vain. I don't think that this movie is necessarily bad. It's just not great or even good. It doesn't even meet the standards of the original movie, which is all it has to do, and then add on to that. Musical elements of this film, they take up a lot of these small, detailed moments from the original movie. Take, for example, when we see them winning the mathlete competition at the end of the film. They're all standing outside, receiving their jackets that they hyped up at the beginning of the movie, those jackets that they really, really, really wanted, and we see Cady wearing it to the dance at the end, and how she's not even supposed to be there. It all just kind of adds up from these very small moments, these small scenes. Anyone who is looking to watch Mean Girls this weekend, just go ahead and stream the original movie from 2004 on Amazon. However, they do have a quick snippet of Avatar: The Last Airbender in here from a meme, and I gotta say, that kind of saved a lot of the movie for me. It's just the boulder flying into the wall. It's that small scene when Toph kicks him out of the ring. Gotta say, enhanced the entirety of the movie for me. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm an Avatar fan or anything, but not to mention we're getting more Avatar on Netflix this February 22nd. So if you guys want to see my opinions on that, be sure to subscribe. Now, I do want to go ahead and discuss Cady a little bit further in detail before we wrap up this video. Did she remind anyone else of the girl from Mean Girls 2? They're 2 different people. They just look very, very similar. The original Cady, we got to explore the movie throughout her mindset. We got to hear her inner monologue, whereas here we heard nothing. It was static. So relating to this Cady was so much harder. And in terms of that, just seeing her become a plastic in this movie, it never really felt like it came to fruition. It still always just felt like she was pretending to be one to get back at Regina. I don't feel the full capacity of Cady becoming one of the plastics. And in fact, the plastics aren't as hardcore as they were back in 2004. Overall, I just wish that we got to see the complexity that is Cady Heron in this movie, in which we don't. We only ever see a shallow pool of her. But yeah, that's just how I feel about this movie. It's not a great movie. Watch it on streaming if you guys want to. If you guys are in the mood again for Mean Girls, watch the original. If you guys want to watch more after that, maybe watch Mean Girls 2 and then this one. Maybe this one if you are feeling a musical. But what do you guys think about this movie? Should it have been made? I do think that they should have made this movie, but they should have polished it so much more. But again, let me know in the comments down below your guys' opinions about this movie. Also, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, as it does help out with the YouTube algorithm greatly. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more YouTube videos from me coming your way in the near future. My name is Austin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Austin out.